Good evening, everyone. We are live now, and I'm happy to present you with another episode of Awaken and Uplift TV, which is intended to present creatives from all walks of life. And today I'm happy to have with me the artist and tarot reader Joan F Matos, Joan Matos, who lives in Puerto Rico, and I'm going to read to you a few words about her before she presents herself. So, I'm an artist, an energy healer, a tarot reader that proves that it's never too late to have your dreams come true. As a child, I dreamt of becoming an artist and studied at the New York High School of Music and Art. In my 20s, I moved to my parents' native land, Puerto Rico, finished a bachelor's in sociology, married, and raised a family. In 2017, I reconnected with art and began painting again. My love for the oracles like the runes and the tarot became a source of guidance in my personal, spiritual, and creative perspective for over 20 years. The images on the 78 tarot cards vary, and the artistic eye translates them into a more uh, and profound connection to the symbols and images. So I want to present you with John. John, welcome. I'm happy
Thank
to
you,
have you. I'm
Jael.
so glad that you agreed to come on. And please tell us a little bit more about yourself from what I've been reading here.
Well, when I expressed that I reconnected with art in 2017, I was going through a personal health crisis, and I really couldn't drive. I couldn't go out. I couldn't do much. I was in a lot of pain, and I was looking for a way to lift up my spirit to feel better. And searching on the internet, I found Shiloh Sophia with
Yeah.
her intentional creativity. And she creates workshops for healing emotional, physical, and mental distress. So I decided to join a free event that she had. And then I signed up for some of her classes. And that just got me going. And after that, that same year, we had a Hurricane Maria hit here
Oh,
in Puerto Rico. And I left to the United States and I continued doing those processes in a small way in my journals. Wherever I traveled while I was over there for 4 whole months away from home, I was connecting with my creativity. And that really, in so many ways, helped me to get through that process. And then when I got back, I started finding other teachers online and I became curious and I began to develop something that I had given up on many years ago, as many women do. And well, then I just continued painting, and my art, for some reason that I didn't understand, people wanted it and they started buying it. And then I began combining my love of the oracles and the tarot with my creativity. And what I started doing in my journaling practice was I would pull one of the tarot cards and use it as a prompt for my journaling and also my creativity. So I began practicing that on my journals, but then I moved on to doing it on canvas. So the process of transformation has been pretty huge, and I would say in a short amount of time. And now I am feeling perfectly fine. I'm doing very well, and I'm very happy to be home. And here I am with you.
okay. So I'm really impressed with your art, but I'm also very impressed. You've sent me quite a few tarot cards from different decks,
Yes.
and I just look at that. I looked at them today when I just opened the email and I looked at them, and the pictures, the images kept talking to me. They are very, very strong, very, very impressive.
Yes, they are.
So I would like you, would love it if we'll talk about it. I'll share my screen. We have a presentation with you put together a few cards, the same cards from different decks,
Yes.
and I want you, if they have different meanings because the pictures are so different, if do you read them differently if you use different decks? So I'd like you to talk about that and just to present it to us. It's going to be wonderful, I think, a wonderful lecture about using tarot. And so I'm going to share the screen now, and you tell me when to go forward with
To go
with
forward, yes.
yeah,
And I
okay.
really would like it to be a conversation instead of a lecture, so you can
Of
just
course, I'll
interrupt
ask
me and
questions
ask
all the time.
questions. Yeah, yeah.
I'll ask
Okay.
questions. I
I
promise to
think it's
ask
going to be
questions.
fun and I hope it's interesting. Let me get my glasses on. Okay.
Yes, okay. And we
Okay.
are
So
going to
let's begin.
start. So here we go. You can see the wow, we started with the Empress.
Yes.
Ah, ah. And
the
I
the divine mother.
yes, yeah, she's my favorite, just so that you know.
Yes. Well, she represents the divine feminine in all of her generosity and abundance, and with her round, pregnant belly, and just fertility and beauty and everything that she represents in the tarot. I see the tarot as a journey of the person, the human, and also a journey of the soul. So it's a story, and I pretty much follow Joseph Campbell's um, proposal of the hero's journey. So if any of you have seen the movie Lord of the Rings
Art,
or
yeah,
The Wizard of Oz,
yeah.
the Dorothy and Frodo could be considered the fool. This is the fool. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see the fool? No.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
The fool,
I'll
no,
show it later.
we cannot show
No,
it
because
now.
okay, that's fine. So the fool is in the number of the fool within the 21 cards
Yeah,
of the major arcana is zero. So zero represents pure potential and the beginning. It's the card of innocence where we begin something new in our lives, a new journey, and we set off without really knowing what lies ahead and what is coming. And the fool is the number of the fool is zero because the fool will be making stops along the way and finding these different archetypes or characters along the way that will teach him and through which he will grow and evolve. So the Empress is number three. And the number three in the tarot represents the Trinity and also groups, ideas, action, and is the first pause. So the first pause that the fool makes in his journey is with the mother. Before the Empress, we have the high priestess and we have the magician, and she is the third stop, but she is where he pauses, where because she is where he's going to be nourished and loved unconditionally, and this is what she represents: unconditional love, beauty, creativity. If you look at the first card, that is the original Rider White rendition
yeah.
of the Empress. And you can see that she has a symbol on her shield, and that is the symbol of Venus. And
Mm,
in the next card, that card is the Grand Lux Tarot, created by Cyril Marchetti. And his art, I believe, is digital art, and she's very beautiful.
yeah,
You can see that in this one, she's Mother Nature. And they can be read the same because there are certain keywords that tell us about the Empress. So the keywords for the Empress are the divine feminine, creation, abundance, nurturing, Mother Earth, growth, and beauty. But as you look at the images, and I'm an artist, so of course the images speak to me, you can see that there's a difference in one and the other. The first image, the Rider White, she has stars in her crown, and she's holding a beautiful wand, and she is surrounded by nature, but she also has human comfort. She's sitting on the throne. She has the shield, I'm sorry, and a pillow. And although she is surrounded by nature, you can see she also has our human comforts. In the Cyril Marchetti version, she is Mother Nature. She
Yeah.
is the tree. She's carrying the child. She's caring for the child. She gave birth. And she gave birth to all of the life that we see in the card. So we can include that in the interpretation. Now, in the third one, this one is from the Light Seers Tarot.
I love
And the
that
Empress
one.
here is a cosmic being. It's a beautiful card. And the moon is high in the sky. It's a full moon. And that full moon is connecting by the dots to her round belly that is full with everything that is on Mother Earth. And you can see that on her shoulders, she has the waves of the ocean. So this uh, empress is an empress that is a cosmic being connected to the stars and the ocean in a more organic way. Okay. So when you look at this empress and you look at the one by Cyril Marchetti, the one that is a tree, you get a different feeling and a different vibration from each one. And that can be included and should be included in the reading. That's how I read. The tarot is complex, it's 78 cards, but it's also simple because if you just look at the pictures intuitively, you can identify the meaning of the cards.
Yeah.
Now, the fourth image is from the Naked Heart Tarot. And although it's kind of a strange image, it's very direct and I can read it very easily. This woman or this being is sitting on a rug. And if you look closely at the rug, there are stars beneath her. So she is sitting on the universe.
Mm.
And her body she has no clothes on. She does not need them. And she is also pregnant. She is with child, but from her neck up, she shows herself on our earthly plane as Mother Nature. So you can see it in the tree, and the crown is floating over the tree. So what she shows in this card is that beneath what is beneath is the sacred feminine and full of promise and possibilities in her pregnancy. But then the tree above tells you that in this case, she honors and she expresses herself through nature. So do you have any questions?
No, I just want to admit someone, please. Yeah, okay. And go. I don't have questions. I'm just listening to you. I'm really,
Okay.
I'm drinking
Let's move
everything
on.
in. Um, and it gives me a lot of insights into her. I'm telling you, she's my favorite. I'm very connected, I think, to Mother Nature and the whole aspect of her fertility and abundance and giving, because she's the ultimate mother, and yeah, so I love it.
Yes, and her love is unconditional, as all
Unconditional.
mothers. Yes, the mother archetype is the mother. The figure of the mother is the love that you don't have to have do anything to
Right.
have. Mother just loves you because you are.
Yes. Yes.
Mm,
Okay.
okay.
You want to continue to the next one?
Yes, yes.
All right.
So now we move on to the major arcana that is number 18. And this is the moon. And this is another feminine archetype, but a completely different energy from the Empress. So the moon represents intuition, the unconscious, fear of the unknown, introspection, strangeness, maybe dreams because it is nighttime. Um, those two pillars that we see in the Rider Waite Smith version are the two pillars that we find also in the card of the High Priestess and also in Justice. So these two pillars represent the entryway of the positive and the negative, the masculine and the feminine, of the opposites that guide us into terrain that is unknown for us. Being number 18, this card is where the fool is almost at the ends of his heroic journey. But now he is going to go through a land that he knows nothing about. And it's dark, and the only thing that shines is that moon.
And why
The
do you have?
dog, and do you see the animals
Yeah,
below?
yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. Why did you
So
have?
yes, so one of them is the dog, which is a domesticated loyal friend, and the other is the wolf, which would be the primal being, our animal nature, that part of us that is wild, that wild self, and
Mhm.
they're both standing at the entrance, but they are kind of there to remind us that we will find along that path both friends and maybe scary beings like the wolf, and that crawfish that's coming out of the water is behind the person that is going to take that journey. So there are things that we will find along our path in life and in different situations in our lives that are unknown to us and that are strange. But we will never really be alone because she's shining and she is reflecting the light of the sun. The moon is the great mirror in the sky,
Yeah, okay.
and she shines that light upon us. So the passage might be scary. It could hold surprises, things that we don't understand and we don't know, but our voyage is needed as part of the growth in our soul and of our life. We become stronger, we become more resilient, and we become better human beings when we walk this path. So in that first card, that's the moon. If you look at the second card, that's Cyril Marchetti's version, we have the same characters, but you can see that he uses another art style to project this. And in his version, there is more light in that path ahead.
Yeah,
In the Light Seers Tarot is another version, which is also very beautiful. And
yeah.
you can see the rays of the moon going on the water. Here, to me, this refers the unconscious. These are the things about ourselves that we are going to discover on the path of our life. Uh, Unconscious means that most of our life literally is unconscious because the conscious is the surface of the water, the
So,
surface of our life, and the unconscious is the deep, deep ocean.
yes.
So the path of the unconscious is inner healing. It's that healing that needs to happen before we reach the end of our path and conclude
So I
the
must,
journey to begin it again.
okay. So if we have the crawfish here, it's as if there is something frightening in the unconscious, in the subconscious that is coming out, and it's coming out in the dark. Because
Yes,
yes, because that's the fear. What we fear is our own subconscious. When we
yes.
draw
The
this
fear
card,
is Yes, the major arcana mostly represent the unconscious world, the archetypal world, the myth, the world of life. Part of what I'm studying with the tarot has led me to try to understand more of astrology because each of these cards has symbols that relate to astrology and to other the secret societies, because the Rider Tarot was created uh, by people that belonged to the Golden Dawn secret society. So many of these symbols are part of that teaching. But even if you don't understand that and you've never read about it, when you look at it, you know there's something coming out of the water, and the water has to do with our emotions and our subconscious that we don't want to see. But if we don't see it, there's no way that we can attend it and that we can do something about it.
I see. Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
sometimes these images come up in a reading and people are afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. This is our own inner landscape that is showing up in the tarot. And tarot can also be read literally. Like it has been used for centuries for fortune telling.
Yeah.
And fortune tellers will interpret the moon card in another way. Maybe the fortune teller will tell you there is something unknown, something that you will find on your path, and you have to be aware. And that could be possible. It's just that the way that I work tarot is in another way. I work it to guide people through whatever it is that they're going through in their lives and to help them through the process, find their way.
All right.
So the last card, the Naked Heart Tarot, here we see front and center is the wolf, and that is the wild nature. And of course, this tarot, as we move on, you're going to see that is very nature related and animals. So it's a way to salute that wild nature that we all have and that sometimes we repress. And sometimes we do need to go outside and howl at the moon and let loose and let that part of us express itself. Take off your shoes, dance in the rain, open to your intuition, open to that part of yourself that you were taught to repress because it's dangerous. That's why sometimes the moon also brings up that kind of fear because we've been taught to fear that part of ourselves.
All right.
I personally also associate the moon with the feminine cycles, the 28-day cycle. So if the moon comes up, it could be that something that you are going through is going to be over within 28 or so days. You will go through that process quickly in a 28-day cycle.
Okay. I
Okay.
continue. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So now we can move on to the next. So
Yes.
I wanted to, and there are four suits in the tarot, and
Yes.
those four suits represent the four elements of nature. So it's fire, water, air, and earth. The fire elements are the wands. Fire represents spirit. It represents it could represent goals of our working life, things that we strive for, things that we want to create. It could also represent creativity. So here we see in the two of wands, someone standing on the first card, the Rider White Virgin. We see someone standing looking over the landscape and looking out into the ocean, but he's holding the globe of the world in his hand. So, literally, you could say this person has all possibilities of the world in his hand. He's holding one of the wands, but there is a wand behind him that he probably represents something that he's not conscious of yet. So, this person is making a decision, standing there, making a choice, thinking about what he wants to do, in which way he wants to move forward. Maybe he has offers. Maybe there are possibilities before him, but he hasn't made the decision yet to move forward.
Mm.
In the
I,
second card,
I draw this
yes,
one a lot.
yeah. So this is yeah. It's like before you take that step, make a pause and think about all of your options and try to gather all of the information and all the resources before you take the step and move out into the world. Okay. So now the second card is the Shiro Marchetti, the tarot of grand looks. And in this case, we don't see a person, but you can see that gate is partially open and the ray of light is coming. So in any case, this one is also about, the light is on the other side, the path is there, but that gateway is not completely open. So it's a moment where you stand and maybe you look back on everything that you've done before, and whatever it is that you're leaving behind, and make sure that you are grateful for it, you're thanking it, and you're ready to let it go, let all go, so that you can move on into another stage of your life, or your work life, your financial life, whatever it is that you're moving towards in your life. The
Okay.
third, the light seers, you see a young woman there, and she's looking out of the window. She has the wand in her hand. She also has the world globe, but she's looking out like with she seems like she's yearning. She's wanting something. She even has a picture of her little van, and the van has next to it a surfboard. This is what she's dreaming of. This is what she wants to do, where she wants to go. But she hasn't made the choice yet. So if you see that in this case, all of these cards have a basic meaning, but the pictures tell us another story in each one, which
Hmm.
you can interpret in whatever way. Like the first time you look at a card, you might feel something. Listen to that feeling. Don't push it away and say, no, that has nothing to do with what Joan said it means, or the book that I read, or the little book that comes with the cards. But listen to that feeling, because that feeling is your intuition and that instinct that is speaking to you. And to develop that, you have to be able to listen to it and act on it, and speak it about it. And then the third card, we see that that path is not completely open. It's a gateway, but the globe of the earth here is represented in a crystal ball. So looking into that future, feeling into it, what do I see before I am ready to take that first step?
Okay. So each one of the symbols, I mean, they're sort of conventions. So people who create the different decks, they actually use the same symbols all the time.
Not necessarily. They will use different characters. There's, for example, a cat tarot. I don't remember the name of it. A couple of them, or there are panda tarots. There are also very dark and heavy tarots, vampire tarots.
Mm,
So each artist is creating from the consciousness where where they stand and what they want to project. The basic meaning is the same, but the artwork is going to feel different
okay.
according to that person's background, philosophy, maybe even religious background, or a philosophical background. Some of them are like the Naked Heart Tarot. This whole tarot is mostly animals and nature based, and I'm gonna speak about that a little bit more later on.
Okay. Do you want me to move on?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. I love
So
that.
now we're moving into relationship
All right.
and
Oh, this is
emotions.
it.
So this is the water element. And the cups represent water elements, which are connected to our emotions and our relationships.
Mm,
and and this is a happy card. You can see the family,
yeah.
um a rainbow, and you can see that all of those cups are just very, they're, I would say, they feel like they're a trophy. They're up in the
Mm,
sky, they're lined up one next to each other. This person walked the path of his emotions or her emotions, whatever it was that they were going through, and has had a successful and happy ending. These happy endings are usually come, and they do come with a new beginning, because it's never done. Our life isn't done until it's done. It's
mm,
not over until it's over. So these are cycles of life.
mm.
So you can see the family and the mother and the father, they're celebrating, and there's that rainbow above them, and the sun is shining, and the children are dancing, and their home is in the background. So you can feel the comfort of home, and love, connection, and the commitment, satisfaction in this card. Okay.
Hmm. Okay.
Now, in the second one, we find a couple and they're sitting, it seems like it's winter time, and the fire is burning, the house is warm, the cups are up on the mantle as if they were trophies. And then you see the cat is in the forefront. They have their pet, makes it feel even more cozy. But let's look a little bit closer at the basket. Do you see that little basket?
Where's the
And
basket?
the basket is on the table next to the woman.
Ah, yeah, I see something
You
rodent coming out.
see, there's
Rodent.
a rodent coming out, exactly. And actually, one of my clients, I had the deck for over a year and I had never noticed that. So this is the thing about tarot. When you're reading with for yourself or for someone else, you will most likely focus on certain things that you had not seen before. Or maybe if I'm reading for you, all I'm looking at is those cups up there on the ledge, or the fire, and what is that above the fire, or that cat, why is he in the front? But with this person, she noticed the rodent. And it's a great story because we were speaking about home renovation that she was going to have, that she's having right now. And when I saw the rodent, I said, well, look, it looks like everything is good, everything is going to be fine, you have the resources, you have companionship, your husband and yourself, you're both aligned with what you're doing, but there could be surprises, the hidden things that will happen during the process that you are unexpected, like a mouse or a rodent, something hidden that can come up that will be surprising. So what does that do? That gives a person a heads up so that she can get ready for unexpected things that can come up, and
Mm,
just know that they might happen. And it's not a reason for you to pre-program yourself, because the tarot tells you the story, but you write the ending. So
mm,
it's a way also for you to focus yourself on an easy, effortless path in this home renovation.
okay.
So, and look into the meaning of the rodent. Rodents could mean something that is eating away, something that is making something less. Also, rodents are very focused on tiny little details. Look at the details. Make sure when you sign a contract with regards to your home that you dot all the I's and cross all the T's. So there are many ways to interpret one card. Now, the basic meaning of the card is that eventually everything is going to be fine because it is the 10 of Cups.
Mm, okay.
And it's the ending of something and also the beginning of something else.
All right.
In the next card, we see that the couple is actually sitting on a hammock created by the rainbow. So
Mm,
these people are really enjoying the bliss and the children in the ocean. And you can see this couple is, and I believe it's two women. And this is something that I like about these more modern decks. They are more inclusive, gender inclusive, racially inclusive than the decks that were the original decks.
mm-hmm.
So they have a family. They're very happy. The crystal bowls are in the sky, and the sun is brilliant. And you can see a family that has created joy and happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the Naked Heart Tarot of the rainbow, we find it in the crystals. I love this card. It's just beautiful in
Yeah.
the variety of crystals. And the crystals are generators of energy
Mm,
and healing.
okay.
So that would be the 10 of Cups. Do you have any questions about this one?
No, not me.
Okay.
No,
Anyone
no.
else?
It's just that I wonder why there are no people in this one.
Oh, okay. You might not be seeing the participants. Let me see. We have Marilis and we have Esther.
Yes,
Yes.
I
Okay.
see them.
Yeah. And many people signed up, but I'm sure they're going to be seeing it after
Yeah, I'm sure
after,
that they
yeah,
will.
they'll be seeing the recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is here in Puerto Rico, it's 2 o'clock.
Mm,
And in the States on the Eastern Coast, it's 1 o'clock. So people are probably out
yeah,
doing things. Yeah. Okay. So now we move on to the swords.
here we are.
Okay. The suit of swords is the air element. And the air element has to do with communication and with the mind. So most of our problems are created by our thinking and our mind and the way we use our thoughts and beliefs. So this suit in particular is the one that has the most conflict. The swords are usually conflictive, and I chose one of the cards that that to me could go both ways. The Seven of Swords. So you see someone in the first image, that's the white version. He
Yeah,
seems to be stealing something, right? He's
yeah,
sneaking away, looking back. In the next one, we see a person hiding with the swords, but there's always two swords left behind, right?
yes, yes.
Okay. In the third image, uh, the swords are the feathers of the crows,
Oh,
and
I love it.
he is leave two are also being left behind.
Okay.
And then in the last image, we see the raccoon. And I love that she chose a raccoon because the raccoon, they do this, they do take things.
They steal.
And they steal, and, they even have their little mask and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so, the imagery is great. So, the Seven of Swords speaks to us about making ethical choices. It speaks to us about ethics, integrity. It speaks to us about acting with integrity. And it could literally mean a theft. Now, remember that we're speaking about the air element. So, in what way are my words taking away from someone else's experience or stealing from them? In what way are my words building up someone else or cutting them down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And is that what I want to create in my life? Because what I give to others is what I am going to get back. It also speaks to, it could be an actual theft. Maybe, the person has been through a robbery.
Mm-hmm.
It could be. It could also be about the other side of this, the positive side of this card would be going out and taking back what was taken from you,
I think,
recovering what was probably stolen,
yeah, I have,
and leaving behind what is not yours and taking what does belong to you.
I have two comments here. One, the crows also are known to be thieves. They usually take from other birds, and so that's one.
So that's a good yes.
And the other thing, the swords that are stuck in the ground, they remind me of the myth of Excalibur, of the sword of
Yes.
King Arthur, that he was the only one who could extract it from the ground because it was rightfully his. Screen.
So that's excellent. I love that somebody shared the story about the crows. So this is the thing about tarot. I'm looking at the young man, and this person put their attention on those crows. And that's so interesting. It's something that I didn't know about crows, that they take from each other.
Yes.
And
Lydia, please mute your microphone. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
what you were saying about those swords that cannot be moved,
Yeah.
those swords, that's something that you see into this card that I hadn't seen.
Mm,
So I always tell people that when you look at the tarot cards, what you see and what comes to you, what comes to mind to you, is what that person that you're speaking to needs to know. That's why they chose you as the reader.
mm,
Even if it's your friend or a family member, or you're reading for yourself, trust what your intuition is telling you,
I,
because I, as a reader, will be seeing one thing and maybe you'll see something else. That's why when I do readings, since everything that I'm doing now is online, I share the image with the person because I want them to be able to come there to their own conclusions and tell me, what do you see in that card? How does that feel? If
Mm,
you were that person, how would it feel?
okay.
So that's another way to learn the cards. You just do a meditation and see yourself in that situation. How does that feel to you? What do you see around you? What, and then journal about it. It takes a lot of journaling, and to me it has been a process of going deeper and deeper into my own knowledge and my own psyche, and learning so much more than I ever thought I would learn through the tarot. I call it a wisdom book.
Okay.
And we're just speaking about one card in each suit, and you can see how diverse it can be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so we can move to the next.
Yes. Because.
Okay, the knights. So this is one of the court cards. That's why I chose them. So each suit has the numbers from 1, the ace, to 10, and then the 4 court cards. So there are 14 cards to each suit. The 4 court cards traditionally are the page, the knight, the queen, and the king. In this case, we have the knight. So the knight represents action and movement within the suits. So they take action on whatever it is. So this is the suit of earth, the coins, the pentacles. And we see that this knight is on his horse, but the horse is standing still.
Yeah.
And he's very focused on that coin. He's looking directly at it. He has his armor, he's ready, but he's very focused on what it is that he's going to do. So this knight represents diligence, steadfastness, determination, hard work. It could be someone planting seeds, someone that is ready to take action, but in a slow, step by step way, making sure that everything gets done the way it should be done. So, this is why it's the earth element. Of all of the elements, earth is the slowest, and it's the heaviest. So, it will take time when you have earth elements in your reading. The quickest to me would be the fire element,
Mm.
would be the fastest moving element.
Okay.
So the Knight of the Night is that's the white version. The second one, you can see that he has the horns of the ram, and that says to me that, you know, the ram, he's taking action, he's going uphill. The ram is a species of goat, right? And goats love to climb hills, and they will reach where they are going. They make the choice to go, and they are going to go. And then you see below him is that bear, the bear coming out of hibernation and going out into the world where he is going to get fatten up, he's going to get ready, and he's going to prepare himself for the next cycle of his life when winter comes around again. But in this case, I would say this would be the end of winter and the beginning of spring,
Mm.
where the Knight of Pentacles is able to plant the seeds, and the bear can go out into the world and live in his slow, measured way. In
Okay.
the next card, we see that Knight of Swords. He has his horse, but he's walking, he's moving forward. And you see all of those mandalas behind him?
Yes.
Those are the seeds that he's planting.
Mm-hmm.
But he continues, he doesn't stop and wait and see if they grow. He continues walking forward, but he's not riding the horse quickly, he's going step by step.
Okay.
And then in the Naked Heart Tarot, we see the buffalo, and this is a young movement of pentacles. In this case, she decided in the court cards to change the pages. She changes to innocence. The knights are movement, the queens are the heart, and the king is the spirit.
Oh.
And one of the reasons that these younger, newer creators are doing this is because of gender identification.
Mm.
So we're living in a new world where gender identification is something that is being spoken of, and in my view, should be respected. So these animal decks really give you the opportunity for it to be gender neutral in a way, because you can speak to anyone of, let's say, a camel carrying the 10 wands, and the ability of that camel, although the camel is tired, the camel will be able to reach its goal. Although this young buffalo is young, he will be able to do what he came to do. And if you look closely at the card, you see within those leaves the symbol for Virgo. This deck has a lot of astrological symbols.
Yeah. That's the
So
food
Virgo
sign.
is reliable. Virgo is methodic. Virgo tends to be perfectionist. So it's telling you a story, if you know a little bit about astrology, about this buffalo and what he means. The buffalo also feeds the tribe. The buffalo is very revered in Native American cultures, because one buffalo could feed the people and clothe them, and all parts of the body of the animal are used. So buffalo gives his life so that the people can live and last throughout the cold winters.
Mm. Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
the night. So you can see that you can read into, depending on the deck, you can read into different aspects of that energy of the night
Okay.
of sorts. Okay. And the next, you're going to see the boxes. These are the three
Mm.
decks that I used. And I always like to mention, because, I'm using their artwork. And the one in the corner is the Naked Heart.
The one on the right.
Yes,
Yes.
that is my short, maybe not so short presentation of the tarot. And when I come back on, I would like to show the people the card of the Fool, which is where the journey begins in
Okay.
the
So
major
let's
arcana.
put you on for
Yes.
a few minutes.
hmm
Just a minute.
I'm just going to show the cards.
Stop sharing. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi. Hi, everybody. So this is the Fool. And you can see a young person with a little package of whatever it is he's taking on his journey. He's not taking much. He has a little dog by his feet, and the dog could be his companion, could represent that part of us that is always loyal and with us. It could be our spirit guide, our soul, our angels, whichever way you would interpret the little dog. So he's ready. He's ready to move forward. He's almost at the edge of a cliff, and he really is going to jump off of the cliff, because he's innocent. He really does not expect anything bad to happen to him. Zero. So he has zero experience. So this is us. When we begin something new, we think we know where we're going. And we just, sometimes you just have to take the leap and be ready for a new adventure. So here, you see that little figure?
Oh.
The Fool has landed somewhere, and he's walking along with his little dog. And many times in many decks, we see the Fool as a jester, which was the original figure that was sometimes used. And it's good for us if we look at a little bit of history. The jester was the person that the king confided in any of his secrets, because the jester would never tell the secrets. So, although he looks like he's foolish because he's gonna jump off a cliff, he's not foolish.
Yeah.
He
Oh.
believes, is willing to take a chance.
Beautiful.
Isn't that a beautiful? She's going to jump into that new matrix. that she knows nothing about. She's matter of fact, she's just leaning back into it. She's so trustworthy and willing to. And now in this one, I really love this one because it's the unicorn.
Mm.
And this is one of the two mythological beings in this deck. The rest of them are actual animals. And I love the unicorn, the image of the unicorn, because um, first of all, it has the crescent moon, and then the unicorn is just innocence and joy and beauty and all of the good things that childhood represents is what unicorn represents to me. Besides, that horn right on the third eye is kind of, you see that third eye guiding the process, it's like pointing towards the direction where you're going to go, and trusting that you will always be guided. So does anyone have any questions or comments?
Anyone has any questions about it? You can unmute yourself.
Don't forget, you can always, contact me in this way also. Thank you. Thank you for the support.
What was the question on? I think that we had a question about the different tarot cards. I know there's several out there, and you did show a picture, which at one point I wanted to like screen save it, and then it just went out. But
okay,
what?
she'll put it up in a little bit. Yes.
And
So I'm gonna speak. You want to know what tarot decks I use?
yeah.
Okay. So the first one is the Radiant Rider.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to show
Yeah,
it?
that's the original Rider White tarot.
I'll show again. Just
Radiant
a minute. I'll
Rider.
show the picture, the image of.
Yeah, I have the
Yeah, I
book
think it
here.
was the last image that
Yeah,
It's
and
the
I
last image.
recommend
Yeah.
that deck for beginners.
Here,
Yeah.
you see the image?
the far
Yes,
left.
there it is. Yes. The Radiant Rider, then the Grand Lux Tarot. You can take a screenshot of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do right now.
There,
Okay.
got it.
The Light Seers, and the last one is the Naked Heart. Okay, let
Do
me
you feel
see.
some kind of special feeling when you thought about the cards? I imagine.
Oh,
Through,
well, many times.
the, through,
Yes.
Then show it.
through
Many
the
times I
cards.
do. Many times I do. When I sit with the cards and I'm connected with, because it all depends on the question. It all depends on the querent, which is the person which is asking the question, and the cards that come up in response to that, the energy of that person. I've been doing energy healing for over 20 years, so I'm very sensitive to that, to other people's energy, and I think that has helped me as a reader, and that it's easier for me to connect, especially now that we're using um, these online ways of coming together. So for me, for example, right now I do my Reiki healings, and I do them distance healings. So I feel that I've even become more connected with people. So when I do the reading, I am in connection, energy connection with the person that's asking the question, and connecting that energy to the tarot through the question. The question is very important. The clearer the question, the clearer the answer.
Mm, that's important. Yeah.
Yes. So sometimes people say, well, give me a general reading. Where am I at in my life? So a general reading is going to be general.
Yes.
But if you ask, what can I do? This is a wonderful way to ask, to attend to the tarot, and the way to ask questions. How can I move forward in my financial situation? How can I make it better? What can I do? What can I do? What belief is holding me back? Those are all wonderful questions, because then what the answer that will come out will be a more direct answer to what you're asking. And then what I do is I begin there, and then the person continues asking
Please
questions, and I keep
unmute
attending
yourself.
them. For beginners, this is the Radiant Rider White comes in a kit with this book, and the book is really pretty good. It's not the best book out there, but for if you're beginning, for you to understand the meanings of the cards, you're going to be able to see here that these 2 pages are dedicated to the Six of Pentacles.
Yes.
So this book is going to give you the meanings upright, or if the card comes reversed, and all of, when the question the card comes up in answer to a question about love, money, finances, health, or
Mm-hmm.
a spiritual question. So this is a deck, and it's really, the price is pretty good. You can get it on Amazon, the Radiant Rider White. Then the last one is the Naked Heart Tarot. Here it is.
I love the
I would
box.
say this tarot, if you are an intuitive reader, this would be good for you. But if you want to understand the meanings of the cards, this is not the tarot for you to begin with. If you just want to have it for later, you can buy it, now. But I also recommend that people try to buy from the original decks. There's a lot of people out there making imitations, and it's really taking the income of these people that create these decks. Creating a deck is a lot of work.
Yes.
The artwork, writing the book, everything that it takes. So yeah, I always ask for that, respect. If somebody gifts you a deck that is a knockoff or that is an imitation, well, you use it, and you say thank you, and you use it. But if you're going to buy your own, they might be a little bit more costly, but it's because of the work and the quality. Look at this card. If you're going to be using your cards open, you want good cardstock. Good cardstock.